What's up, Drivetrain? We're back. It's February, but the sun is out. It's blinding out. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. It's like 70 degrees. So I thought, hey, no better time than today to shoot this video. Today we're going to talk about how to manual. All right, y'all, we're back. And today we're getting on to the video about how to manual. Now, there's plenty of videos out there, and the simplest form that you hear about is go try to manual. Loop out, figure out where the balance point is, and then you're good. You're gonna figure it out. It's kind of like learning how to run, right? You gotta trip and fall before you can learn how to run. But there's a lot of people too that build manual machines, and I am one of them. I built a manual machine. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it up here, and you can check that out. I made it out of metal. It's foldable. It's actually pretty sweet, but it doesn't feel anything like manualing. I'll tell you why. The concept of manualing to me is when you're going forward, the back wheel kind of scoots out, the bike almost pushes out from underneath you. On a manual machine, you have to pull back. So that idea of sending my body back, while I could find a balance point, just doesn't seem natural. It doesn't translate to me on the road. So today we're going to talk about my thoughts, my concepts about how I manual. Got my cruiser back there that is filthy dirty. That's why I'm staying so far away from it. You can't see how much dirt and rust is on the chain because it hasn't been cleaned since the last dirt mud race that I did on January 1st. So because of that, we're just going to stay far away. It'll be a 15-footer view, but let's get into how to manual. All right, so as always, we are in an open parking lot with very few cars traversing. They're all over there by the soccer field, and we're up here all alone. It's great. But one thing to note is that this parking lot has a little bit of a hill to it, a little bit of an incline. That's going to be needed and necessary for this concept. So when I started manualing, what I learned first was how to wheelie. Now, some of you new school kids don't know what a wheelie is. You call it a pedal manual. Newsflash, a pedal manual is actually a wheelie. You're riding on your back wheel and you're pedaling. That's a wheelie. So let's learn how to wheelie first, because that concept of pushing the bike out from underneath you and getting a balance point is the place where we've got to start. So I'm going to jump onto the parking lot and maybe I'll talk over what we're doing and we'll get some concepts going here. So we're going to start with our pedals, one a little bit higher than flat, and you're going to stand straight up as you press down on that pedal, pull your bars back, and then you're going to pedal slowly and controlled to try and keep that front end up. You'll feel a balance point over the back wheel, and obviously if you lean too far back, well, you're going to fall off the back of the bike, but we want to keep that pressure with our foot as we pull with straight arms and just keep our butt pretty tall. All right, so that gets us to a wheelie. Now you're halfway, you're maybe even 77.2% of the way there in a wheelie. You've got the bike up, you're balancing, you're pedaling, and what you're doing is actually you're learning how to maneuver the bike while being on your back wheel. And that's a lot of what goes on in a manual. Now, I will say in a manual, your butt plays a huge role, your posterior plays a huge role in how you go and where you go and how long you go. So for the wheelie, the reason we want to go uphill is as you're pedaling, if you're on flat ground, you're going to start to speed up faster and faster, and that can get a little hectic. You don't want to wreck. Also, wear your helmet if you're learning this. Anyway, going uphill helps us so that we can keep that balance point and just kind of wheelie consistently at a nice consistent speed. The next thing to do is just try and do it with your butt. You're gonna kick your butt back, straight arms, and just sit on that back wheel. You want to learn how to loop out. So let's do that. Let's learn how to loop out. So this is pretty standard. We're gonna kick our butt back. We're gonna jump off the pedals, know that it's coming, and what we're trying to figure out is where's that balance point of I am too far back. So looping out is not wrecking. It's a controlled fall. You're gonna get your bike up and you're gonna get to a point where your butt is too far back, and you're gonna go like this, and all you do is just jump off the pedals, land on the ground, and bring your bike next to you. You don't have to throw the bike. Don't be dramatic about it. Just keep your hands on the bike, maybe hit the brake. You know you're gonna loop out and then bring it back down, nice and controlled. But learn that, because that's so huge and important. When you actually get manualing, you wanna know how to control it. All right, so at this point we've got a wheelie and we know how to loop out. Now we just gotta put them together. You can do one of two things. You can either wheelie and then stop pedaling. If you do that, you're gonna want to wheelie on flat ground, not on an angle, because you're gonna want your momentum to carry you forward. The other thing you can do is just go full send. Just dump the butt back, kick that wheel out a little bit, keep your arms straight, and just learn how to manual. Now, pro tip for you, use your brake. Keep one finger on that brake. You can always feather the brake. So if you're gonna loop out, just tap the brake. It's gonna bring you back down. If you're really fancy and advanced, you can feather the brake the whole time and lean back, and that's when you get like the super manual stuff. But that's not this video. That's not this video. Stay on track, people. We're learning how to manual. So we're gonna go out, we're gonna give it a shot, we're gonna kick our butt back, and let's see how we do with the manual. So at this point, you're just trying to lean your butt back, keep your arms straight, and you're gonna kind of pump your legs to get that back wheel out. Sometimes they're gonna be great, sometimes they're gonna be not great, and that's okay. You definitely want to keep looking forward, because wherever you look is where you're gonna go. So if you look at the ground, yeah, your wheel's gonna drop right back down. The other thing you'll notice if you see any of these clips is my knees are constantly kind of pumping. I'm using my butt to move back and forward to keep that leverage point in the right spot. And that's just something you get a hang for the more you do it. So that's it. We're gonna learn how to wheelie, we're gonna learn how to bail, then we're gonna put it together and learn how to manual. Now at this point, I love parking lots because just like everybody else says, these are measuring points. So you can learn how to manual over a line, then you can learn how to manual from line to line, then you can see how many lines you can manual. That's when it gets really fun. The next thing that I want to talk about is how to get this onto the track, because there's a slight difference between manualing over a jump and manualing on a road. So we'll get there eventually, but that's it for this video. Thanks for checking this one out. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Catch you guys in the next one. That's it. Peace.